Okay, yeah. Thank you everyone for joining today. We are so happy to have you, and we are so excited for this talk, especially because of the amazing women that are going to be speaking today. So, but before we dive into the panel session that everybody's been waiting for, I'll give Dami a couple of minutes to just, tell us about Women Who Code, just in case you're wondering what we do and why we do this. Dami will shed a bit of light into that. So, Dami.
Hi everyone, good evening. My name is Dami. I'm also a director at WWCode Lagos. And what we do basically is just we inspire women to excel in their tech careers. We want to be like a voice that you need to, when you need your voice to be heard, we want to be the one helping you, want to be the one there for you. And that's what we do. We do different kind of event, technical events or non-technical events and other things, workshops, hackathons, webinars, and etc. And right now we are in 135 countries and we have over 290 active members, or 290 active members worldwide. So that's just a brief introduction of Women Who Code, and thanks for joining. I hope you have an amazing time today. Thank you so much.
Thanks for that. And I'm trying to spotlight our awesome guest speakers today. And yeah, I'm trying to wait for them to turn on their camera. Okay. So, yeah, today we are so excited to have you, and we can't wait for you to hear the amazing stories you're about to hear from this awesome women today. So just a quick kind of housekeeping rule and a quick way the event is going to go. We would have this panel session for about 30 minutes. Oh, 1 hour actually, that's awesome. And then we have like 15 minutes for Q&A. So if you have questions, feel free to post them on the chat or, mention, or like, you can just skip, if you feel like you can keep your question as we are going on, add them to the chat. Then after the actual panel session, we're going to be asking you if you have any questions, and feel free to unmute at that time. So with that, I'm going to we're going to get started, and we're going to be starting with like a quick icebreaker. I'm going to be putting the panelists on, it's not kind of an hot seat because it's an easy question to answer. So I want you to, tell us about yourself, Zoom has given your name away already, but does it hurt to tell us, kind of pronounce it to us, and then explain your current job and how you would, your role and job, how you explain to a 10 years old, not just explain it with acronyms, those big words, and people don't still understand what you are doing. I want to really understand what you do. So just explain to us in the simplest layman language as possible. Then what was the first job you ever did? And also if you have, a personal philosophy or a kind of career advice. So either you answer, what's the best career advice you've ever received, or what's your personal philosophy? So any one of those two. Yeah, that's a lot of questions. I hope you remember. So I'm going to be doing this like a randomized version. And I think I will be going to Enodi first. So is it pronounced Enodi?
Yeah, kind of. It's pronounced Enodi.
Nice. Okay, I got that.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name is Enodi. I'm a software engineer. And basically, how do I explain what I do to a 10-year-old? I would say I make life easy for people by automating their manual process. Say, for example, children in the past, children used to go to school, to go to a physical location called school in order to learn how to read and write, right? But today things have changed. you can actually learn how to read and write from the comfort of your home. So basically, I built that application that helps people to learn how to read and write from the comfort of their home. So the other question would be, what's your philosophy? So my philosophy in life is that aspire to be great using your own pace, not somebody else's pace, right? And I learned that when I recently got a job as a software engineer, my first job as a software engineer, and I after a while I kind of understood, it was like a realization that I was comparing myself with other engineers. And while this helps to put some people on their toes, you cannot compare yourself with somebody that has 5 years experience more than you, right? So what I do, or what that philosophy means, is that look at your own growth, because when you compare yourself with other people, you don't see yourself grow, right? So instead, compare yourself with yourself. Have I grown from the last 1 month, 2 months? Then that's fine. So that's my own personal philosophy. So the last question is your first job I ever got. The first job, I don't think is a programming job, or I can't remember the title of the job. I don't think it had a title, right? So basically, I worked with a consulting firm, and my job or my role there was basically to install Google Chrome browser. Yes, very funny. Google Chrome browser for our clients, and also document all their problems that they were having, basically. So that's me.
Wow, amazing. I really like your personal philosophy. It's like, I mean, you should have seen the heads that were not. I mean, I'm sure if everyone turned on their camera, you would have seen them nodding their head. That's amazing. And now I'm going to be tilting it over a bit, and I'm going to be pushing on to Maria. So.
Hi everyone, my name is Maria, like she said, Maria Simeon-Godfrey. I'm a software engineer. I work for Inlax currently. If I am to explain what I do to a 10-year-old, I'll say, okay, you know your phone, your iPad, your tab, you see those things that you usually click and use to play game, or those things that you click to do, maybe to type. We call them application. And that is the type of thing I do. I create them. I build it. We can call it building an application. We call it, you create something. You create an application. So that's what I do. That's the best way I will explain to a 10-year-old. So I'll say, if you are interested in, so those games that you play, I can do some, that's the kind of thing that I do. So that's how I explain to a 10-year-old. Places I've worked. The first job I ever did, I worked as a web developer. Then it was website that was running that time, so I was a web developer. That was how I entered into the tech industry. Philosophy. What I tell myself is, because my job it requires, sometimes they ask me to do what I don't even know how to even start from. So I always tell myself, nobody was born a developer. You learn it. That's what I always tell myself. So I have to just keep encouraging myself. Okay, so that's what I'll say for now. Yeah.
Awesome. Wow. I really like that.
I hope I answered all your questions. Did I answer all your questions?
Did. Yes, you did. Yes,
all
you did. That was amazing. Yeah, nobody was born a developer, obviously. Nice. Okay, so moving on to Karen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Karen Okonkwo, and I'm a software engineer at Bloomberg. So how would I explain my current job to a 10-year-old? I think I would say, like, I order computers around and I tell them what to do by, like, speaking the language that they understand, which is code. And then it helps those people you see on TV, like reading out news, to type news that people can read on their phones or on their laptops. So that's about how I'll explain my current job role. For the first job I ever had, I was a software engineer intern at a startup company. in VI at the time. Then as for my personal philosophy, my personal philosophy is always so exciting to tell people about it because I feel like it's very important to kind of imbibe. So for me, it kind of ties to what Enodi said somehow, because for me, the goal is to make sure that every day, like you're better than you were yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So how to explain that? Okay, in the context of learning, for example, it would mean that every day you're learning something new. And so what happens then is like you look back, every time you look back, whether it's yesterday you're looking back at, or whether it's 1 month before, or whether it's 5 years before, you know that you're always better off. Like you're always better off today than you were in the past. So I think that's kind of my personal philosophy. Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice. I hope people are like noting that down. Okay, so moving on to Uche, certainly not the least. Do you want to share with us?
Last but not the least.
No, certainly not the least.
Hi everyone, my name is Uche Mukolo. I don't know how to explain what I do to a 10-year-old. I'll just try my best to don't be. So currently I work as a technical program manager for Bantu Blockchain Foundation. Bantu builds blockchain infrastructure. Our goal is to help empower humanity. And so what I do is to help. So as we are an infrastructure company, we have different solutions that are being built, different things that you want to do on the blockchain. So I just help manage those different projects, make sure that everybody has what they need. I collaborate with the operations team, the operations team, the design team, the engineering team, just to make sure everybody is, they have everything they need to do their job. And my philosophy in life is to try and do my best each and every day. Because I've realized that the results that we get is directly proportionate to the efforts that we put. So I feel that if I try my best every day, I know that every day I'm improving and I'm getting better. So if I put in more time, let's say I'm trying to learn how to code, for example, if I put in more time every day into that thing, I'm going to get better over time. So in anywhere I find myself, I just try to do my best. It might seem hard at the beginning, but I believe that if I keep doing my best every day, I'm going to excel in that. Yeah.
Aww.
That's
Aww.
it.
That's so nice. So cute. Wow. That's amazing. Amazing intro. Like you guys have said it all. I think we can just close and say, everybody, you had enough. That was awesome. But I mean, because we already spent time, we already created time for this, we would move on. So moving on to the first talking point on how do you portray tech career path? So I'm going to be pushing this question. Posing this question first to Maria. Why tech? Like, what motivated you? What was that moment you decided that, yeah, I want to pursue a tech career? Because I feel that question is important. I always say, if you don't know why you started, one day, like when that pressure gets too much, you would almost feel like quitting. So you need that why to always keep fueling it. So yeah, what's that why?
So I've had experience in the banking hall. I've had experience in HR department, and I've had experience as a computer engineer. Okay, back then we used to use CPU before laptops became very popular. So in our time when I was in school, it's CPU. So you have the monitor, so during IT, I also worked as a computer engineer. So I've had experiences in those 3 areas, and I also studied computer science. So I finished, then during my NYSC, I was in HR unit. And I had the opportunity when the first job so when I finished, I got a job as an IT support. I looked at it, the HR unit telling me, I know what to do every morning. Also in the banking, as a bank operations staff, I know what to do every morning. So I told myself, no, this is not my lifestyle. I'm easily bored when I know what to do every morning, doing the same thing. I'm easily bored. So I told myself, no. And I've had an experience with website development as a web developer. I just told myself, I'm going straight to tech. I can't be doing the same thing. I need to do something different. So that's why I entered tech. Give me something I've not done. Worry me, give me something to worry about. Do you understand? So that's why I entered into tech. Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. I hear you like challenges. Just stress me.
Yeah.
I want you to keep stressing me. That's so nice.
Exactly.
So I'm going to be pushing that same question to Enodi. Why tech?
So first of all, I would say I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, so it kind of propelled me towards that. But that was not really the reason. I think after university, a family friend of mine came and said, oh, he wants to design his website. And can I design a website, right? He's going to pay me for it. And honestly, I did not know how to design a website. I just said yes. I mean, he was going to pay me. So, so I designed the website. I went to Google, went on YouTube, learned how to design websites, and I delivered the project. And after delivering, I was like, you know what? I mean, this is good. I'm happy that I saw the results of my work. So I was very excited about it, and I decided to continue. I didn't know that it was tech space, they used to call it then. I just knew it was programming. So yeah.
Nice. Wow. That's an amazing story. Okay. Same question to Uche. Tell us why tech.
Okay, so like for me, I didn't come from like a tech background. I kind of, let's say, okay, so what even happened? I used to work as a technical support engineer for an ISP. I worked there for like 7 years. I was tired. I had to quit. Like it was the same thing, just like Maria said, picking calls, doing the same thing every day, connect, remove cable, put cable, you know, those kind of job. I was tired. I resigned. I went to learn how to sew. I was thinking business was for me. I started making clothes for people and all that. I tried that. I could not drag money. You know, I'll just go sew, I'll pay you out, you know. And then one day like that, my junior sister told me about this program that Andela was doing. I was like, just come. You don't need to know anything about coding. Just come, passion and all that. Me too. I carried my leg. I went to go and apply. But the first day I walked into the Andela office, I told myself I want to work here. Like the office environment was fantastic. And I think that was the initial thing that drew me to tech. I saw these young ladies with Mac laptop, jeans, t-shirt, you know, just looking, you know, everything was just so attractive. That's how I actually initially became very interested, and then getting into Andela, that's another story for another day, but I shall into the thing.
Oh, no, so nice. I appreciate you sharing that.
I'm not actually done. If I would say, if you ask me like that was then, why tech right now? Thinking about it, I would say that like tech has transformed my life. Like imagine, sometimes I just think back and just imagine if I was still making clothes, and apart from the fulfillment and the career and everything that tech has given me, like there's also the financial aspect too, and I wouldn't trade it for anything like right now. So yes, that's why tech. We died here in this tech thing.
Wow. I like that. So I'm going to be spicing up the question a bit for Karen. I'm going to be asking you, there are several roles in tech, and there are several like parts in tech. And many people find this just the same way you find that issue, or you have to like answer that question of why. You still have to answer the question of why do I want to be in this career path. There are so many career paths in tech. You can be a program manager, you can be, technical writer, there are like 1,000,001 roles and paths in tech. So why this particular career path? Why being a software engineer? And how did you like figure that out that this is what is meant for me?
Okay. So for me, growing up, I I wanted to be a lot of things, to be honest. And one of them, I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be everything. But at some point, I decided, oh, like these games I play on my laptop, I want to build these games. So I ended up like studying computer engineering in school. So like there was like small programming involved. But things are like, honestly speaking, at that point, I didn't know what I was doing. So I was getting pulled in so many directions. So at that point, I was like code related. Like I was already code like centered. So that kind of streamlined my options to begin with. But at that point, I was getting pulled in so many directions. Oh, learn this language. Oh, learn this. So I was jumping up and down at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the end of the day, like I think all that jumping around was necessary because, like in my jumping around, like one day I realized that of all these things that I've tried, like this is the one I really enjoy doing the most.
Mm-hmm.
So I found out like I really enjoy building for the web. So I don't know, like everything kind of built on from that point. But like, the fact still remains that there are so many careers in tech to pick from. You won't know the one that resonates with you most until you try them. So it doesn't even necessarily have to be code. Like you look around and you see different people talking about different tech things every time. So like you just have to try them. And by the time you try them, I know, yes, it takes time. It means you have to try so many things and that can get frustrating. But like when you find out one thing that you really like and you really want to do, then like that's just it. So that's how it went for me anyway.
Nice. I said that's nice. So what I hear is can try things out, but find that thing that resonates with you. That's like so important because I know a lot of people right now, they're just everywhere. Like I'm learning blockchain today, I'm learning AI, I'm learning like, come on, dude, what are you? So I like that part of, yeah, you can touch several points, but find that thing that resonates with you. That's cool. So posting that similar question to Maria, how did you figure out that this is the role you want? This software engineering role is what resonates with you?
I will say shout out to my friends. Shout out to Eniga, Tope, Goji. They were meanwhile they were people that pushed me. You hear there's money in this thing. You understand? And you don't know anything. Now there are several roles in tech that people don't even know about. However, if you are fortunate to meet somebody that is already in it, and the person is able to put you through, I did computer science. I could write one line of code. I did OND, did BSc, finished like this. I could not write one line of code. But because there was money in tech, I wanted to learn it. And I didn't know what, but I had people that were willing, they were ready to help me. Yeah, and I was also very passionate. That's the thing about women. And that's why companies are looking for women in tech. But women are always passionate about whatever they're doing. So I had this passion. So I would say my passion and the people that were willing to help.
Yeah, okay.
That was it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that. So I like we have like 2 different points right now. Find what resonates with you and always have those people that can always guide you in the right path. Like, yeah, that's true. That's super important because people need that, especially new people joining or coming into tech. I hope you can hear. I hope this is going to work for you or this is going to help you out someday. So we are going to move to another section right now, and it's more or less called like career defining moments, those moments that just gives you that wake up call or, So starting with a bit of a first question, and I'm going to be asking Uche first. I know you've said, you talked about, the first job you ever had. Well, even whether it is tech or it's not tech, I want you to explain to us, how did you get that job? So how did you get your ever first tech job? Whether it was an internship, whether it was gig, whether it was freelancing, that first step, because that's always like the hard part for people when they get into tech. It's like, how do I get that first job to be able to prove to people, especially when you have no skill, you have nothing, you have an empty slate. So how did you get that job?
Well, so for me, it was very simple. I got into a boot camp, Mandela boot camp. Yeah, that was how I got into tech. I did a boot camp and then I did apprenticeship for 3 months. And then after that, I got my first role as a software engineer. That's how it started. It's that simple.
Oh no, that's so amazing. So your first tech job was at Andela.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. I'm very sure if you can see people's faces right now, they're like, wow,
My
that's
first
so
tech role.
nice.
It wasn't easy. Like I was saying,
Yeah,
that it's a long story. Like
yeah.
it took me 4 tries to finally get into Andela. Some people would have given up at some point,
Oh
but
no.
I knew that this was what I wanted to do. So I kept trying until I got in, and yeah.
Oh no, I love that resilience. I love that resilience. And I appreciate you
Like
being
that.
able to say that, because, people don't know that failure is part of life. Well, after one failure, it's like, this is not meant for me. I did that a lot. But thanks. Okay. Same question to Karen. How did you get your first tech job?
Okay, so for me, it was like my IT 400 level. Like at this point, I had taken all these courses like left and right, no direction, like I mentioned. And I really did not realize how difficult finding jobs would be. So at that point, I found myself like jumping from company to company, like trying to find jobs physically, reaching out to any and every company I could find. And like I'm pretty sure at that point, like I applied to like 50 companies like in the space of 1 month. And the worst part of the entire thing was when I realized that I had been sending the same email to all of them and I forgot to edit like the company name out. It was an absolutely terrible time for me. But at the end of the day, like it just takes one job really, like one job that will click and like that will make all difference. So I ended up getting the software engineer intern role that I mentioned earlier. And the entire thing is tricky because like companies want to hire people that have experience, but we want to get hired so that we'll get the experience that these companies want.
Right.
At the end of the day, like I think the middle point of it is like having projects. So like having personal projects, like personal projects that you can show people. What it kind of shows is, yes, like I don't have experience, but you can still see what I can do then. Yeah, like that's how it was for me.
Oh no, that's amazing. I'm like, oh God, I'm having mixed feelings right now. I hope people are learning because I am learning. If I'm going to rewrite my story again, maybe this one. But okay, I'm going to answer the same similar question to Enodi.
So just like Uche said, my first tech job was at Andela. But sorry to disappoint you guys. Uche tried 4 times, I tried 8 times. So it's double. Yeah, so it took a while. Like I kept on failing, I kept on getting rejection emails. Like, so I kept on going back to kind of find out, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing? Because before you get into Andela, you have to go through some series of coding tests, right? So I kept on telling myself, okay, why am I failing the coding test? Why am I failing the coding test? So it was always going back to the drawing board every time until I got Andela. Yeah.
Oh my God. Like, and I really, really appreciate you guys for being so vulnerable. This is one thing I always wish people can hear, that when you see people shining at their tech jobs, don't think it was just this easy ladder or merry-go-round or somebody just found them on the road and felt like, oh, you look beautiful, I'm giving you a job. I just wish people can know this. And thanks a lot for sharing that. So Maria, what about you?
Wow. For 8 times. Good to see you guys. That's a good one. Anyway, okay, so for me, if you go through Polytechnic, they always give room to technical jobs. So I think we go for CWES or something. I can't even remember. I know they always give us time for training or something. So you have to go and look for a place where you can learn, something like that. So I went to one tech organization, but they didn't have plan on what for us to do. I think it was formed by people that also went to Polytechnic. So they know that, students will always come and they need a place to do. I think it's CWES program. I can't remember.
Yeah,
so they didn't have anything for us to do. So all we just did, maybe follow them to client sites. Do you understand? So that they will say, these people are men in their organization. So that's what we're just doing. And they were developers, but I didn't really know anything that they were doing. However, there was now strike. There was strike going on, and I finished with those people. So I just told one older member like that in charge that, oh, I'm supposed to be doing IT, but the school is on strike. Or some person now said, oh, I also work in an IT firm. You can actually come to my organization. So when I got in there, so instead of being at home, so I got in there, it was now a web development organization. So because I knew there was limited and I really wanted to learn, that was right click, I really wanted to learn. So when I got there, somebody was doing front end, was doing websites. So I just told the person, you know what, this thing that you have done, can you give me the code? Let me recreate it. So that was HTML and CSS. So my own, that was when I even knew about HTML and CSS. So my own, I started recreating what the person was doing. So one day in the organization, one of the boss was just passing and he saw me. He was like, is this our site? Because the site was live already. He said, is this our site? What happened to it? I said, no, this is mine. No, I'm the one recreating it. And without waiting for anybody to tell me what to do or somebody call me, you know, normally when you go, you are waiting for somebody to tell you what to do. Yeah. On my own, I was the one that went up to meet someone and said, please, let me redo this thing that you are doing. The person was like, okay, just continue. That's a good one. And I realized that that is the fastest way of learning. So before I left that place, they were already giving me real jobs to do. And you know, I was single, I was young, I wasn't doing anything. So under 3-4 days, I've already finished doing something. So before I left for school, I was already good on my own. I could do a website complete on my own. So that was my first tech job. And so when I finished school, they told me, oh, in fact, immediately you finish school, please come back and work. Work is already waiting for you. So that was it for me.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, that's the sweet part of the story. That's the story people always like. That's the one people always want to do. The fact that I don't have to try several times. Let this thing just come to me on a platter of gold. But I wish people can still point out from that story that you have to do things yourself. Like even when you find yourself in a particular company, I think I did too one time in an internship, but if nobody's, you have to still push or like make that room for yourself that I really want to learn, be proactive about it. And like, that's literally what will keep you going. So for people in the audience, the major reason why I wanted to ask this question is to let you know that getting a first tech job is not easy, just like Karen mentioned, especially when you have that clean slate. Companies are looking for experienced people and they don't understand that you need to give us that opportunity to make us experienced. So you're the one that have to like find that one good opportunity that can make you click. Like in the case of Uche and Enodi, that okay, I know I can get through this Andela bootcamp, and if I can get through, it's going to be helpful. So I'm just going to keep trying, even if I'm failing. Let me learn every single time. Like that was really awesome. Like if you identify one way and find it's not clicking or it's not making, it's not going well, just keep trying again. As someone said, even when you fail, try again better. So look at what you've done before. What did I do wrong? Look at how you can retrace it and try it again better. And I hope people learn from that. Yeah. So we're going to move to another question, still on the same question, still on the same section, and I'm posting it to Karen. At what point, time or moment in your career, like what was that point that shaped you into that position you are today? So I know you like started applying to several companies and also at what point did you like, was there a role, was there a particular company you went to, or was there a particular thing you went through that kind of shaped you into that amazing software engineer you are right now?
Yes. So I would say like getting like a university scholarship like really changed everything. And what's funny is that at the time I had no idea what it was. I just saw something, I applied, the same way I was applying to every and anything. But it wasn't until like I got the scholarship and I started it, like it really started to, everything just went from that point on. So that's one. I think another point, this was like way like much after. I don't know if this kind of answers the question, but there's a point I got to realize that like impostor syndrome will always show its face. Like whether it's just come like very slowly, just show its face and go. For those that don't know what impostor syndrome is, it's basically like you basically feel like you don't know what you're doing. Like you're a fraud. Like people are saying that you think you know what you're doing. I mean, you really don't. And you think that okay, like as you get better over time, like it will go away. But I don't think it really ever goes away. Like every once in a while, like it would come up. So I got to a point where like I realized like this thing will always be there. But like not allowing it to stop me from doing anything. So for example, if I want to do something I've not done before, like, you know, all these things will be ringing in your head telling you, oh no, like, you can't do it. The point is do it, like you will not die. Really just do it. So like getting to that point where like I could like drown out all that and just like getting to that actual point, like was it really changed things for me as well. So, yeah.
Nice. Wow, I really like that. I like the fact that you pointed out that imposter syndrome. Almost everyone has it. Like I have friends, yeah, in Microsoft and like Nigerian friends, and we used to joke about it every single time that I used to think that one day Microsoft will wake up and feel like they hired the wrong person. So we'll always be like, they've not sacked us yet. So it's just that feeling or that thing in your head. I just always try to downplay you. But always tell yourself that you are amazing. The fact that you even got here alone, you're amazing. So yeah, I like that point. So I'm going to spice that question up a bit, but I'm going to tilt it over. And I'm going to be asking Enodi first. Was there ever a time you felt like, oh, you wanted to quit? Because, you know, I mentioned something earlier that why tech? Because you need that why at times or periods in point in your life that just feels like, oh, you're not meant for this, like imposter syndrome, or periods of time where you just feel like I just need to quit, or so, this is too much, this is unbearable for me. So was there ever a time that you felt like quitting, and what made you eventually stick it out to that? Yeah, I'll keep going with this grind. So
yeah, there have been several times when I felt like quitting. An example was when I was going through the Angela boot camp, right? And someone would think after 8 tries, you should stay and do whatever, right? But it was really, really hard. It was really hard. Like you are exposed to so many things that you have no idea about. But I think what made me to just stick it out was I always remember, or make me to stick it out is I always remember like a pact that I made with myself when I was much younger. So I noticed early on that when I'm faced with challenges, I kind of flee instead of fighting, right? So most times when I encounter challenges and I want to quit, I just tell myself, you know what, Enodi, you're going to fight. Instead of fleeing, you're going to fight. Let them be the one to tell you no. Don't tell yourself no. So that's just me as I speak out.
Oh no, I'm sure if Zoom had reactions, you'd have been seeing those those, if you could see it, you see those cute love comments. That's so touching. Okay, so Maria, I'm going to be posing the same question to you. Was there ever a time you felt like quitting, and what made you feel like, you know, sticking it out?
Okay, so several times. Okay, the way the nature of our work is when you are given a task and you don't even know what you are doing, you're like, won't I go and do makeup artist like this? Or won't I go and start sewing clothes? So I can't even promise you that maybe tomorrow I won't even feel like quitting. But the thing is that you just sleep over it. You know, sometimes when you run into bugs, it always happens and you don't even know where it's coming from. Or when I was doing front end, when the thing is just not moving. You know, I don't know whether you guys have done front end before. The thing is just not, hey, for some funny reasons, the margin is just not working. You're like, hey, is it not the same thing? So you get tired and be like, what is all this? What are I going to look for something else to do? So it always happen like that, and it will even happen. So, but the thing is, you always know that it's just one of those things. But always have friends. It helps me a lot. I have friends that we call it collaboration. I collaborate a lot. Do you understand? So I don't even waste time. Okay. I won't even waste time. I know there's always someone that I've done something that I'm trying to do before. So I just go back to my pool of friends. Alpha, I beg you, don't do this thing before. Or I just go to Google, or sometimes I just sleep over it. You know, there are sometimes that when the thing is just not working, just close the application, start it all over again, because points, dots, you can look for dot and not find, or maybe a colon or a comma or something. Sometimes the thing is just not working. Just stop it. Start it again. You may not have that bug again. So those are just some of the scenarios. It always happen. In fact, like I said, I studied computer science. I didn't even know how to code. So when I finished, even as a web developer, when I finished, I resigned as a web developer. I went into the banking industry. I was in support unit, so I wasn't even coding. I was in IT support. IT support is somebody is telling you, you know what you want to do. You are waiting for somebody to make a complaint, and you now tell them the solution to it. So those are just rhetoric for me. So I would say that actually, with that, I would say at that point, I was bored. Do you understand? So I wasn't programming as at that time. So there's always reason for one to quit. But the thing is, just keep going. Get to what you know what you want. Just continue to push. All right.
Nice. That's like so nice. So nice. So I hope people out there, I hope you are getting this golden nuggets, because this whole point is to let you know that it's not all rosy. It's not all smooth and sailing. I used to say life is hard, tech is harder. So you just need to know this and know peace. That's just it. So now I'm going to be having like a different kind of, I'm going to change this atmosphere a bit. So now I know, especially as women, we used to have unconscious or conscious bias. And when I mean this, whether someone is being biased towards you, or even you yourself being biased to yourself, like assuming people are being biased towards you based on maybe what you see, what you felt in the past. So I just feel this is like a common thing where you have to deal with it, whether it is conscious, whether it is unconsciously, and whether it is you yourself just thinking about people being biased towards you, or people actually actively showing this biasness towards you. So I'm going to be posing this question to Karen. Have you ever had to deal with this situation, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, like definitely. I think the one that resonates like with me the most is like there's this assumption that you're incompetent that comes, like whether it's unconscious or conscious, that it will be your work. People just generally assume that you don't know what you're doing, right? It's why like there's this shock that is displayed, like when a woman does like her work, and like, oh wow, like you did this, like why are you shocked? Like it's also why like someone would automatically assume that you need help when you do not really ask for it, like in your tasks or whatever. Like another thing is, like you've done work, someone sees your work, like just sees your work, and they assume that, oh, it was a guy that did it. Like that has also happened to me. So it happens. But I think for me, like the way I've handled it, like a more passive way I've handled it is just to keep doing the work. Like as you're seeing me do that, like you will know that it's not a big deal. Like I can do it, so people like me can do it. So it's not that big. But then the like more active way that like I've tried to handle it, because a lot of these times these things are not very conscious. So if you don't say it or if you don't call it out, they won't know that they're doing it. So a more active way I've tried to handle it is like to point it out and tell them like this is what you're doing, and hopefully like they're able to fix up based on that. So yeah,
I like that. I like that. That's cool. I used to hear this phrase of teach people how to treat you. So when someone is behaving somehow towards you and you feel it's not right or you can't take it, just call it out. Tell them, hey, this is not me. Like not in a rude way, but like just let them know. Hear your opinion. Say it. So that's nice. So now I'm gonna move to a bit of a next section, which is like, growing. How do you keep growing in this tech career? Because this tech thing, that's one of the things that make it harder, is that there are new things every day. Like you can't just sit down before you know things will pass over your head and generation is in web 3 while you're still in 1.0. So my question, starting with Maria, is how do you keep evolving and growing in your career?
So one of the things I do is you have to subscribe to, there are a lot of sites that you can subscribe to so that you can know new things that are going on. For instance, I'm a C# developer. I don't know, for some reason, Microsoft is as if they just like changing. They're always, you just see this on end of life. Hey,
I'm a Microsoft engineer. Continue.
So you don't have choice than just keep learning. You understand? You have to subscribe to different websites, or I say websites. There are a lot of programs that you can subscribe to. Also have full of friends that, I also, if you are lucky to have friends that like to try new things out, and they just want you they don't want to let you know that, oh, I'm already doing this, I'm already, keep them very close, so that you can be knowing the new things that are involved in. So you can just have like, oh, this is a new thing, I think I need to try it out. So that's just what I do. So I have a pool of friends, and I have different subscription that I always know, okay, this is new, and I also try it out. Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. So I'm gonna ask the question to Uche, because I know she has gone through her career in this way. Like she has just been influenced. She's working in the blockchain community right now. So that's the day that she's really growing in her career. So how do you keep evolving, and how do you keep doing this?
I think for me, I would say that I'm always learning something. Like I'm always going through one course or the other, going through one accelerator program, something, just always learning. And like me, I started my career as a software engineer. So during that time, I also had people around me, like people that I can just go to, like when I'm stuck, when I have issues, there were always people around me ready to put me through. Enodi is one of them. So I always have people around me, and I think that's very important. Especially as a tech person, you should always have people around you who you can go to when you're stuck, because it's not easy. Like it wasn't easy for me anyways, but so having those kind of people around me just to show you that, oh, do it like this instead of like this. And then also, yes, I'm always learning something. Like I'm just recently trying to pivot into product. And then so I'm looking for mentors, people who have done this thing. I'm always looking for help here and there, because I know that I can't do it by myself. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing. Like a lot to take in and learn. That's cool. So now that you mentioned mentorship, I like that you mentioned that. I'm gonna be, dwelling on that, and I'll be posing that question to Enodi. Talking about mentorship, talking about sponsorship, people place quite a little bit of emphasis on this, and it's like it's important for you when it comes to growing your career. And just like I know Uche has mentioned, Maria has mentioned, having that people around to kind of help you fast track this career or navigate this career path. So my question for you is, how easy has it been to get mentors and sponsors, and what role have they played in your career path?
For me, I would say I haven't really had like a word or any person that I would quote unquote say, okay, this person is my mentor. But just like Uche pointed out, the good thing about Andela, when you join Andela, Andela forms has like a community, right? You are free to meet anybody, like anybody you feel, anybody you feel like meeting. You can ask for advice, career advice, you can ask for help, and they will help you. And even if they can't help you, they'll point you to someone that can help you. So that helps to kind of build my career. And so basically there wasn't any mentorship or sponsorship in the picture. But for me, it's just people around, friends around. I mean, those that even helped. We kind of became friends after a while. So basically, it's just people around, asking your colleagues, asking friends. Before you know, you just understand, okay, what path is right for you.
That's awesome. And I like that part, the fact that you touched on one big point, because, people just think that, yeah, everybody shouts mentors, sponsors. You need to go and look for someone that is defined mentor or their career title is mentor. It's not always that easy. I even feel that when you go to meet people and you say, oh, can you be my mentor? Those relationships don't turn out to be great. But like when you see this person as, oh, you can help me out, I can help you out. And some people even call it accountability body, where you just feel like we help each other out, not really defining roles here that this person is trying my mentor. And don't get me wrong, you can have mentors. I do have a little bit of, I have mentors, but most of the great mentorship relationship I've had are people I didn't define the role, that this is a mentor or something, but being able to say, oh, you can help me out, or I can always go to you whenever I have questions, which is super important. So I hope people are learning that when it comes to growing, you need to keep learning, just like Uche mentioned. And when it comes to mentorship, sponsorship, find a community of people that are ready to help you out whenever you need that kind of help. So still on that point, I'm going to be passing the baton to Karen, and I'm going to ask how or what strategies do you use to remain relevant in this field? Because like I said earlier, tech is moving very, very fast. Like as fast as the speed of light. You wake up tomorrow now, they are saying something else. Like it is no longer Web3 again. It is now a new thing. And you're like, okay, I've not even learned the Web3. Now there's this new thing coming up. So how do you stay relevant? How do you remain relevant in the software engineering field?
Okay, so
tech field.
Question kind of goes hand in hand, like with the previous one you asked about, like how to keep growing your career.
Mm-hmm.
I think the summary of it is to keep learning and to keep being aware. And I think that's the summary of what like Maria has said, or everyone has said, to be honest. Things change very fast in this field. Like you can close your eyes for 1 second and then you open it and you realize like everything you know is just obsolete. And this is not really to scare anybody, but there's like so much to learn. So following that, I think with the learning part, I think a good understanding of the basics is very important. And I'll explain why. So for example, React. Like React is this new shiny framework everybody is using. And it wasn't always there. Now, if I assume that if you want to learn React, you should like have a pretty good understanding of JavaScript and how it works. And the problem comes is, okay, 5 years from now, when there's this new JavaScript shiny framework, if your knowledge of JavaScript is tied to React, it won't be as easy as someone that understands JavaScript and all they have to do is just, okay, I know JavaScript. Like what have they fancified about this JavaScript to make it this new framework, if you get what I mean? So like, I think a good understanding of basics is really helpful and it helps you to learn better. So that's the first point around learning. And yes, keep learning, please. Then the next part is about like making sure that you're aware, like being aware of everything going around. Surround yourself with people that know what's going on. I think Maria said that. It doesn't even have to be people you know personally. Like something like even following some on Twitter. There are people on Twitter that you just constantly talk about stuff that is going on, just so that you know, okay, this is what is happening. Like also joining communities, like join communities that are related to technologies that you're interested in or maybe you want to learn about as well. And like the final thing, I think this one is tailored more towards like coding, the coding part of tech. Keep building, because it's one thing to know about something, hear about something, and learn about something, and it's another thing to actually build with it, right? So I think like things stick more when you actually build with it, if that makes sense. So like continue to build. So for example, for me, if I see like, I don't know, someone builds something I think is very interesting, I see something very interesting, like is to find out, oh, like what did they do? Like, can I try and attempt to build it just to like get a good idea so it sticks more? Or for myself, if I think of something like a good idea, like I just go ahead and build it, because like, at the end of the day, building really helps. So the entire summary of everything really is to keep learning and to try to be aware because of how fast things change in this field. Yeah.
Those were thoughts, words of advice. It's like, that's nice. That's really amazing. I like the way you capped it up into learning, keep learning, and staying aware. Stay aware. And don't pressure yourself. How had that third point. So don't pressure yourself into the fact that, oh, everybody's shouting this right now. I don't know about this. As Karen and almost everybody has mentioned there today, if you know that you can learn something, that's one thing I used to say. When you get to that point where you know that everything is learnable, you don't pressure yourself. So just put yourself in that mindset that I can learn anytime I want to learn, and just keep learning. Yeah, that's a good point. So now we are going to be wrapping it up. And this has been like an amazing session. I'm sure like the audience is just really enjoying this golden nuggets you guys have just been throwing here and there. So we're going to wrap it up, and this is so sad. But as final thoughts, I'm going to be asking this question, putting it to Maria first. What is an advice you would give to your younger self that's trying to navigate or excel in a tech career? You know, things that's changed from where you started, which is like, I would say it's like a mixed feeling. It's a bittersweet part of things, because when we started, I think it was like way different than right now. So what's the advice you would have given to a younger self right now that's trying to navigate?
Okay. One, I need the younger self to know that there's a lot of units in tech. It's not about front end and back end. There's QA, there's DevOps, there's IT security, there's data analysis, there's database. Those that write scripts, they just write stored procedure and they just write scripts that we developers now, they'll just send us the script that we'll plug into. There's system admin. So it's not front end and back end. A lot of people will come and they will come meet me and this tech, myself, I want to do tech. The first thing I tell them, please go and read, go online and research. There are a lot of units. Come back and meet me and let me know the one that interests you. I think there's so much noise in front end and back end. People are forgetting that there's QA there, that there's data analysis. So I'll tell people that if it interests you, that's the way I will know. Because like I said, I was in the unit where nobody sent me. And some people will come for IT and they will leave, waiting for people to tell them, or they're just using it to leave the house and come back. If you are passionate, I will know. Because you go and come back and say, oh, this is what I've been learning. I think I'm having issue with this. And when I see that passion, that, oh, you've learned this, I'll say, also read up on this, it may interest you. So I'll tell my younger self, go and I have to see that you're interested. I have to see some commitment in you. I have to see passion in you so that I don't waste my time. You know, many people just come, they just want to do tech, but their mind is not really there. Their mind is in makeup. Their mind is in something else. So I'll just say, go and study, go online. It's even easier. There are a lot of YouTube channels. Go online, go and research, do your research. Now come back and tell me what interests you. But please, tech is not front end and back end. It's not only programming. There are various units, there are various teams in tech. So make sure you do your research very well. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. I like that you touched on passionate. You have to be passionate about it. So I'm going to add to what you said on when you say tech is not just front end and back end. I'm going to say tech is not meant for everyone. So don't pressure yourself. If you feel like you're not passionate about it, don't think because there's money in it. There's not really money in it, to be honest, because but don't let people pressure you with whatever number of figures they are showing you on Twitter as their salary. So yeah, that's like super, super important. And I'll pose that same question to Uche. What's that advice you would have given to your younger self?
I would just tell her that just calm down. Right? This thing is not that hard. It's not hard. See, these people are doing it. People have done it before you. Like, these people are doing it, they're excelling. So it's not hard. Just calm down. I know I had a lot of anxiety when I newly started. Like I said, it was not an easy journey when I started, but I'm here today means that I was able to scale through. If I had known then that, if I had known to just relax and just learn, don't even stress yourself, maybe I won't have gone through some of the things I did. You know, just all the anxiety that came with the whole thing. You know, just calm down. You will get this thing. His brain that is there is not coconut, you know. So I'll just relax and take your time and learn this and practice. Like that's what it really is, like practicing, doing it every day, and then you figure it out. Like, it's not rocket science. That's if I want to still code though. But right now, I don't see myself coding for life. But like Maria said, like there's so many things. Like when I wanted to get into tech, it's only code front end and back end. I thought was tech. But there are other things. You have product designers. There are plenty things which I'm now trying to even explore right now. Like, can still do all these things, and of course the front end and the back end experience is also helping me in what I'm doing currently. So no knowledge is like lost, but I think I would take my time and figure out what I'm really passionate about
That's the
before
word.
I jump into it.
Thanks. So I like the fact that you guys, like, you were able to kind of think. So the same word of find out what exactly you're passionate about. So I'm going to sum it up as to younger selves out there who are starting or navigating career. You are just starting out your career. First of all, know that you have to like relax. Find there are people there that they are like acing it, or they're like, it's like, oh man, this person is working at Google. Wow. It took them time to get there. So understand that first, that it wasn't that they woke up one morning and it was just like, welcome to Google. You're now a Google software engineer. They got their trade process. So understand that there's a process to get into this thing and find out what exactly you're passionate about. Not everybody has to be a software engineer. And even when I said that not everybody has to do tech, again, tech is wide, it's big. Like it encompasses a lot of things. So even when I say, oh, you don't have to like get into like tech, it's good to be aware of it or look for how it relates to whatever you're passionate about. So many people are passionate about a lot of things. Some people are passionate about accounting. There's a way you can tie your tech into your accounting and still excel. You can become a financial analyst. You can become anything. So just find out that thing you're passionate about, not just software engineer, back-end engineer, front-end engineer that everybody's shouting out there. Find the niche that makes you happy, because to be honest, that's the thing that will keep you going. So now I'm going to summarize every single thing. And I'm going to be starting with Enodi. I'm going to be asking a question. So if you would give your career journey so far a title, what would it be?
Okay, if I was to give my career title, my career so far title, I would say it's a roller coaster ride, right? There are days when I've had imposter syndrome. There are days when I've felt confident. I have mentored people, so I felt good. There are days when I have been passionate. There are days when I've not been passionate. So it has just been up and down, right, for me. But I'll say what keeps me going is, of course, the passion to do the job, the passion for tech, the passion for solving problems. And also, I've learned that when you keep learning, when you keep understanding what you do, somehow your passion grows because you know what you are doing. So just keep learning, just keep building yourself, just keep improving your skills, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
Wow. Love that. Love that. And you should see the chat. Like, there's a lot of love. So same question to Karen. If you would give your career journey so far a title, what would it be?
I think I would call the movie A Dream Come True. Sounds very cliche.
Oh no. I like that.
I don't work out that. Yeah. I think that's what I'll call it.
Oh, that's so nice and touching. Is there a reason for this?
Well, like when you've battled all the everything everybody has mentioned, like this, at the end of the day, I think like it's all worth it. Like at the end of the day, when you get to like that side where you are good, like it feels like okay, everything was worth it. So like at the end of it, it's a dream that you had, and now you are here. If that makes sense. So yeah, I think that's why I would say that.
Wow. So nice. So nice. That's so cool. So I'm going to be posting it to the audience too. We want to hear from you. but for the fact that we want the Q&A from you, one question. I feel you have questions right now. And even if you don't have questions, if you want to just say anything, a compliment, a concern, feel free to put it on the chat or on mute. But I also want to hear from you. If you would give your own career journey so far a title, what would it be? And feel free to post that in the chat while we are doing our Q&A. So we have come to the Q&A session, and I learned a lot, even me myself, from this amazing panelists. Like, this was really awesome. You guys shared a lot of stories, and I appreciate your vulnerability in being open and, expressing those failures, the way you were able to navigate it and being able to get to where you are today. It was just so amazing to know that this is not a smooth journey. It's a roller coaster ride, like Enodi mentioned. So, does anybody have any question? Do you want to unmute? Do you want to ask your question directly to any of the panelists? Please feel free to do that. And let me check the chat if there are any questions. Okay, I've not found any questions on the chat. So,
I was going to say that the good thing about tech is that it has no age limit. So you can always start even at age 50, 60. I'm just saying, but at age 18, 15, 14, tech has no age limit. So a new language may come now, or a new, not even language, a new framework or whatever can come. And that's when I'll switch into it. And maybe when they ask me how many years in experience, I'll say it's 1 year. In that, you understand? In that particular field. So I'm just encouraging people who they have passion, but they don't even know where to start from. I'm just letting them know that you can always start from anywhere. That's the good thing about tech. It's not like maybe other industry that you should have been there for long.
Oh my, and thanks for pointing that out, because I don't know if you can see the chat. Someone just pointed that I was just about to comment on feeling old and getting into tech at my age. Oh my God, that was so nice. The fact that you pointed that out. Oh. So Nicolette, yeah, you have it. You can see there is no age limit in tech. So
I also wanted to just add that my elder sister, she got into tech when she was 40 years old, which is this year. So, and I can see her, she's already, she's so excited learning Python and stuff. So it's not any age, as long as you can learn. Like, I don't know where we feel that once you get a particular age, you can't do some things.
Maybe we're intimidated by the so many young people you see in tech. Right now you see 14, 15 years old people like building startup, and you're like, is there still space for me like this? So yeah, there is no age limit, please. It's true. Once you just feel like you can learn, everything is all about having that growth mindset of I can always learn this thing. It doesn't have to come with, we are not born with that innate ability of, as someone mentioned, that you were not born to be a developer. Nobody was born and they were like, oh, welcome. We bring to you a developer. No, everybody learns it. So that's like super important. Okay. If I go to the question on the chat, Moni, I see your hand raised. You want to unmute and ask your question?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you to all our speakers. It was really helpful. I guess my question is, I understand that you were saying things about you want to see passion, like when you're trying to learn, but there's still the part where you want to go into tech, but you're really confused. You don't know where to start from, right? You go online and you search and you see a lot of all these things, but they just seem so vague and big, like data analyst, cyber security, just a lot of things, and they're just words that, but for you that don't even know anything that is happening, you just know that you hear front end, back end, like those are the popular things you hear. So you would think that, okay, those are the options you have. Like most of these other careers in tech that are there, but like you don't really still know where to start from. It just seems like a lot. So like, how would you advise someone that the person is presently like doing tailoring or presently doing something that is also taking their time, but they know that they want to do tech. They don't just know where to start from. It's just a lot, right? Like, how would you help that person?
So can I go first?
Sure.
I would just say, for me, find out what you like doing. An example is my brother. He also wanted to go into tech. He knew that, programming wasn't for him. So I told him to try out product management. And he tried out product management, and I saw how he was not passionate about it. Like, he would take the course and just slip off, right? So I had to go back to the drawing board and ask him, okay, what do you like doing? And he said, he likes drawing. And immediately it clicked. So I told him, go into UI UX, go into product design. And the first day he took like a YouTube video to watch like a product management course on Figma, that was when I saw it was like a new realization came to him, right? So I saw the light, and then now when he designs, it's so good, right? So sometimes you can take what you are doing already or what you're passionate about to kind of define what you want to do. As there's so many roles, there's so many things there's so many roles in the tech space today. So just, you could ask people around, what does this role really entail? What does it, like, you cannot say you don't like math and you want to go into data science or something. It's not possible, right? You need to have passion for maths. So those are the kind of simple things or little things that you take into consideration before you know your path to go into.
Okay, so in addition to what Enodi said, I will advise that, you see, all those things that you saw on Google that you don't even know what it means. Now take it one by one, take it on YouTube, see the video presentation of what they are saying. If they say data analytics, you now do, what is the role of a data analyst? Or somebody is presenting something, whether it's data analytics, whether it is IT security, whether it is QA, there's a video on what the job entails. If it is C#, if it is Java, by the time you see it and you see that, this one, we're even looking at it, no, I'm not even interested. That's how you drop Java. C#, no. But Python, I like the English. It looks like normal English. That's how the interest starts. And from there, be like, I think I'm enjoying this Python. Or even if it's UI UX, somebody is drawing, and I feel like, just go and check the video. For me, that's what works. I'll just say, whatever you saw online, take it to Google, take it to YouTube, go and check the video of what they are doing. It will help you have an idea. And if you see yourself still watching other series, you just continue following the person through. Probably interests you. That's just my advice. Yeah.
Cool. Nice. Moyi, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Thanks. So there are questions on the chat. And the first question is from Delapo. It said, as a beginner in the journey, what do you advise on specializing on generalizing? And the person explained. The reason why the person said that is the person wants to really become a front-end developer, but he just got an internship with the bank, and in the bank, they tend to just throw you into the mud. Every single thing they give to you, like you would explore mobile, web, everything, even automation or RPA. I've worked in a bank before. So, and the person is really nervous. So he's saying that, what do you suggest they focus on? And do they focus on what they really want, which is being a front-end developer, or like, exploring these several areas as the opportunity comes with it?
Okay, so I've worked in the bank before. I'll tell the person, you should even be congratulating yourself because you are in the pool of knowledge. See it as it's front-end you really want to do. It doesn't stop you. Continue your front-end development. You continue, know your front end. You can learn it on your own. It's not even the bank that's going to teach you. Now they have put you in the midst of learning a pool of resources that, from there, you can even know about product development. You can know about automation. It's even an advantage for you. So they've just thrown you inside the ocean to have a lot of knowledge. At the end of the day, you may even just realize that it's that automation that you're more passionate about. more than your front end job. So see it as an advantage. Continue, you can learn all of this in your front end, focus on it. You can do that on your own. Then the others as well. So if you are just starting, you can start with generalization, even though you take it you take it one by one step at a time. You understand? See, when you realize where your passion is really. Yeah.
Nice. Does anyone else want to add to that? Karen, Uche?
Yes, actually, I wanted to add something to that. I don't know. I'm really not sure what like made you like target fronted itself. Like, but it's great. I think it's really great that you kind of know what you want, because like that's always the first struggle when you get into tech. Like there's all these things going on, but you don't know what you want. But like since I know how difficult it is to get a job, I think like since you've gotten the job, the first thing is you're going to be surrounded like with people, so many tech people that know what is going on. I think you're in a good place to like get in there. Yes, you might be doing like web stuff there, mobile stuff, but then you have all this. Remember the whole community thing and knowing people thing we're talking about. If you're going to be in a place where you're going to have like a lot of people that know exactly what they are doing, you have people that you can build relationships, and I think it will really help. So if it's a question of should you not just go to any job at all, just stay in your house and continue doing front end, or to like actually go to this company and start working there, and at a point figure out whether it's okay, that front end, this mobile, this everything else I'm doing, I don't want it. Like be in that company first, build all your relationships, do your work, and make your money too at the same time. And at that point, I think you'll be in a better position to decide if that makes sense. Like if that's the only option.
Nice, I like that. So the LACPO, yeah, you have it. I hope that helps. And yeah. So there's another question. This person says, and it's from Titkum. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrongly. So the person says he's an extreme, he or she, they're an extreme extrovert, and they've always known that they could work remotely, maybe because they're extroverted, so I don't have to worry about seeing people. And they are currently trying to work towards it, but they get advice from people that remote work doesn't really pay. I don't know what you mean by this. Do you mean pay in terms of the money, or doesn't pay in terms of overall, like you don't get to maybe meet people, you don't get as much visibility or enjoyment you get from a physical job? I don't know what you mean by that pay, but they get the advice that remote job it's not really like wholesome, that they should try to get out of their comfort zone and be more extroverted. So Diana, like, what's your opinion on this, that being more extroverted open you to more opportunities? So I think the question around this is like, do you have to be more extroverted to get more opportunities, or is there space? Is there that, is there allowance to be introverted in a tech space or something? So.
Let me just use myself as an example. I know I'm an introvert.
Oh, sorry. So the person said pay in terms of opportunities and relevance. Okay, cool.
Okay, so personally, I'm also introverted. I don't know if it's extreme or not, but I just like being by myself. I like working alone. I enjoy it when I'm with people, but most of the time I'm that introvert. And then I've also had issues. I also asked the same question when I was trying to pivot to product management, because you have to work with different people, collaborate with a lot of different people, and it requires you to be able to communicate a lot. And then one thing I've learned, or one advice I got, was that being introverted does not mean that you will not be able to communicate. The fact that you don't have to be loud and just be everywhere for you to be able to communicate and do your job. Yes, being extroverted can help sometimes when it comes to like networking, but aside from that, you can also do your job. You can get those gigs, and remote work pays very well. I don't know what part of the world you are staying, but remote is very good. And then also, like, you just also have to I agree when they say go out of your comfort zone. Like, just because you are introverted doesn't mean that you will not network with people. You can do it, from time to time, but it should not hinder you or stop you from becoming what you want to do. You just have to like put yourself out there sometimes, I guess that's.
Whoa.
Uh,
Cool.
I also like wanted to add something, but I don't know if I really put my thoughts together. So let me just call you Marvelous because I'm not sure how to pronounce. I'm not sure like if you're a beginner in tech or if you code, like if you're a beginner or like you've been here a while. I would say that.
Well, sorry.
Oh,
Can
sorry.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. The thing is, I wouldn't call myself like an absolute beginner. I very recently started it, but I'm not going fully into. I'm going into security aspect because I'm currently studying for my BSc in criminology and security studies. You get, but I wish to go into computer forensics.
Okay.
You understand? So
Yeah.
I'm not an absolute beginner. I've already started taking steps towards improving my knowledge in tech and other aspects that affect my career. And now, I mean, I am extremely introverted to the point that sometimes I get social anxiety when I go out to meet people. So I really don't go out. I don't. I try not to most of the time. I try to avoid outings. You understand? So, and then I get people saying, there's no way I can grow if I do this, if I keep on with this, but it's not something I can help. You get, most of the time I prefer sitting in the house all day. And they tell me I'm not going to be able to grow this, so I'm not going to get opportunities. I'm not going to be able to advance my career if I keep. So I have to, when they make come out of my comfort zone, I feel it's like they're making me do something I don't want to do. You get, like trying to make me, put on this image of someone who is very outgoing just so I can network and everything. So I wanted to get your take on that. Do you like advise me to actually try to do that more? Because I don't want it to like affect me in another way, but I'm honestly confused about it.
Okay, like quick, like just question. Do you find is it more difficult for you to talk like in a more remote space? So for example, it's one thing to like go out and like talk to people because it's very hard for me to talk to people. But like when in a like more virtual space, like maybe like texting.
Like we have right now.
Exactly.
Yeah, like,
right now, honestly.
now we're talking, like very
Right? I'm shocked.
Yeah, but the thing is, honestly, I have problems. No, the thing is, honestly, I have problems talking to people. When I saw this on Meetup, honestly, I had already planned to attend. And then when it was closer to the time, I started getting anxious, like I wasn't going to attend. I actually entered quite late. You get to actually gather up that courage to actually come, because these people I've never met before, people I've not talked to before, you get.
Yeah.
And there's always this deep fear of like you get ignored, you get like, just get talked down, underestimated, and then most of the time people talk to me condescendingly. So it actually affects me trying to make new friends and everything. Honestly, it took a lot of courage to actually join the Zoom meeting, and I debated not talking a lot of times. People actually put that question forward. So in any social event of any kind, both virtual and physical. But this is I'm trying to move. I'm trying to like take that advice to a certain degree. Start with virtual like meetups. That's actually part of the reason why I joined this virtual meeting today.
Okay. So what I would say is I do think that like a big part of tech is actually the networking. But the thing is that when someone says networking, like you automatically equate it to like you just go and meet people. It's not necessarily that. It's like your community, like the people you know. Like you don't have to like go to this. It just happens that like you have this friend, just this one random friend that like is a tech person that introduces you to this other. The point is you can't, if you really like the person when the person said you can't be alone, like that part, I think that part is correct because you really, it's a very like collaborative, I guess, space, right? But also like you don't have to like go out and like just be talking to people if you really don't want to. I think like in the beginning part, especially when like you've not maybe met a lot of people in your role, like you should try. If it's like, okay, start small, like you've said now, which I think I really do, like in a virtual space, in fact, maybe not even video call, just everybody's videos are like muted, like everyone is just talking. Like you start there, like you meet these few people and from there you meet these other people. I think it really helps because at the end of the day, there's one thing to like learn. Okay, you've learned all this stuff, but nobody, is another thing, nobody knows that you're doing what you're doing. And the way for people to know that you're doing, you don't have to, Uche said, like, you don't have to make noise. There are people that make noise. You don't really have to make noise. It's just that for someone to know that, okay, there's this person here that does this thing. Like, that's all you need. And if you have few of those here and there, then I think you're good. So you don't have to be extreme. Like, you have to like go out and just talk to everybody at every meetup you meet. But at the same time, you should not, like, stay back by yourself all through. That being said, like, you also asked about the remote part of things. I found that I don't know if this is your first, like, maybe job, for example. Like, if you are starting out, it would probably be best to like be like in an environment where there are other people like you can quickly reach out to ask questions immediately. Because when you are remote and you're by yourself, if you have a problem, it's more difficult. It doesn't mean it can't be done. But like, if you're working remote, just know that if you have a problem, like, reach out to people. You still have, even as you're working remote, you still have to reach out to people. So if you're going to choose to work remote, you know you want to work remote. Make sure like the people that work with you as well, that know their stuff, you can communicate. Make sure you're talking to them. If you're working in a physical office, make sure you're going to meet those people to ask them questions as well. At the end of the day, I think the summary of what I'm saying is you really have to, you don't have to force yourself and go all out, but you really have to make sure that you're communicating with people, if that makes sense. And I don't know if that answers your question. Let me know if it doesn't.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Karen.
It answers my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. In addition to what Karen said, marvelous. There's nothing wrong if you don't want to leave your house. Someone like me, I've been working remotely for 6 years, more than 6 years, and I really don't like going out. I don't like going out. So you've not done wrong by saying that. You've not said it wrong by saying you don't like going out. I don't like going out. I like to wake up, sleep on my laptop, on my bed, as in with my laptop on my bed. Just that is how I love being on the bed. I wake up with my laptop, sleep with my laptop by my side. So that's how I like to do my thing. However, maybe when you start working and you start having bugs, nobody, you know that you know you need to deliver. I'm sure you reach out to someone. So you can't take that away. You can join community. You can see, maybe what you can do is join a community, start answering questions. From you answering other people's questions, it will help you. So if you can help other people to answer their question, then you won't see any reason why you can't ask question and people will respond to you. So I think you're going to, as you go on in this industry, you find yourself asking questions, talking to people. So it's about your personality, but don't worry, I think you'll be good. You'll be good. Just please, if people talk down on you, just in your mind, just be like, that is your own. As in your mind, just say that, not talking to me. Have it in your mind that Maria said, nothing the apple. Nobody was born a developer. You learn it. If you cannot teach, somebody else will help you. After all, I'm not the one that wrote C#. That's what I tell myself. I'm just a user.
I like that. I like that. Okay, yeah.
All right.
I hope marvelous that answers your question. And even me, I feel I've learned really a lot, to be honest. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. A lot of people try to avoid these questions when I ask it. You get it, just like skim the surface of like, yeah, she needs to go out more and then you just like overlook the other aspects. You get, but I actually like the way there was quite an in-depth explanation of, the other aspect I touched on in my question. I actually like the way they answered it. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Okay, and we are literally on the mark of closing, which is like 7:30 p.m. West African time. So I feel I really personally enjoyed myself. I hope the panelists did too, because this was super amazing. The fact that you were able to like be vulnerable again and be so open to share your journeys and stories. And I also hope the attendees enjoyed themselves. So at this point, we have to, close it up to be respectful of everybody's time. So again, thanks again for joining. Thanks to our amazing panelists. We are so opportune to hear this from you. Like, this was so many golden nuggets being shared. And to the attendees, thanks for coming to listen, and thanks for asking your questions. We showed that you're actually listening along So we are so grateful for that. And this is the point where we say, thanks for coming and have an amazing day. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sitcomb.